Alright, hello and welcome to the third episode of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
And I am another host, Jeff Mayo.
And we are joined by a very special guest today, Mr. William Outlaw.
Greetings and salutations.
His intro's already better than ours, Darby.
Yeah,
We're being overtaken.
He's already about to take our job. How are you?
Getting paid well.
How are you doing, Will?
I'm doing pretty well, actually. Yeah, good. Gamecocks are in the Final Four.
Go Cox.
Cox.
I guess just so people know, well, the other two people, USC students. I cheer for USC generally, so yeah.
There we go.
Yep. Go Cox. I cannot believe that. It really makes no sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
But
Just go with it.
yeah, hopefully by the time you hear this, we've already beat Gonzaga and we're on
National
our way.
champions. Or no, I don't know when this is.
I have no clue when when's the championship?
Monday, right? Monday.
They should be going up Monday.
I'm not sure about when, but I mean, it's about a week between this game and the last game. So
We
it might be
are
about the
either
same.
national championship or
Or-
winners or not.
Or we just
It's-
lost and we're really sad.
it's
So
up in
it's
the air.
just it's completely up in the air. But I'm very excited to have Will on here. Will is one of the writers for the Daily Gamecock with me. And me and him are really the only two people that ever talk about games over there. And
It's great.
These two people sitting at this table are really two of the only people I get to talk about games with at all. And now they're meeting each other, and we're all I'm excited to have this going on. But one thing that you have that'll actually make our podcast tremendously better and more relevant is you've played other games that aren't Zelda and Horizon recently.
That's true. Yes, I have played Ghost Recon Wildlands. Put up a review at the newspaper, and then I've also been playing Mass Effect whenever I can, which is not too often, but I've been trying.
Yeah, college sucks.
Yep.
But what do you think about Ghost Recon?
Ghost Recon. So I really enjoy Ghost Recon. I generally like Tom Clancy games for the most part. So Splinter Cell is one of my favorite franchises ever. Wasn't too big on The Division whenever it came out. Played for like 7 hours and just decided it wasn't really my type of game. But Ghost Recon, I feel like, is everything that Division should have been in terms of there's still loot and stuff, but there's not as much bullet sponging from enemies. It's not the MMO style that I didn't really like. So, I mean, one-shot kills is definitely a thing. I always say think of it as Far Cry Outposts, but that's the entire game. So, Far Cry Outposts are great, but it's maybe not enough for the entire game. So
Granted, Far Cry Outposts are my favorite part of
Yeah.
Far Cry games. That was the one part of your review I was like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
That was definitely. How do you think it acts as a single player game? 'Cause I'm guessing that's how you played it a lot. Cause
yeah. I played probably like, I don't know, 8 hours by myself and only a couple with other people. So I still really liked it single player. I think the squad controls are surprisingly fun and good. You can mark targets and then order your squad members to shoot them. And you can also kind of like get them to join you or take cover and stuff. So I think the single player experience is good, but obviously it is a lot more fun with other people, I think.
yeah.
as well.
Also, I know that you you had some pretty funny takes about the story. I know.
Oh yeah, it's gibberish, I think. But I mean, the moments you have the game in the game is what really makes it. Taking out outposts and like reconning and having all this crazy stuff happen. I like shot the pilot of a helicopter one time, and it came crashing down right where I was standing like seconds before. So there's some cool moments in the game, but the story is weird.
Just like insert military jargon here and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like just taking down this cocaine ring, basically. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a game that's being hidden right now, unfortunately, like a
Yeah.
lot of games are. But it's definitely, it's one of those, it's interesting to me. I just don't think I'll ever get around to it, honestly.
yeah. I mean, I understand that. We were just talking before this started recording how there's just an incredible amount of great games out right now. So it is hard to play something like Ghost Recon, especially since it's open world and just a whole bunch of stuff to do. can't really justify, I guess.
Yeah, but I wonder if games like that and For Honor are going to start. I feel like Ubisoft especially has had games that have kind of had a longer tail. Like it's not as much about the launch. Like Watch Dogs 2, I think I've heard. Haven't we heard some? I mean, I think it's been selling pretty well.
The sales have been increasing, and I guess I kind of forgot to put this in here, but they announced DLC related stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it being free. Like I think one of the things was 4-player online co-op, just going around the world and messing around.
No.
So if you want to look at that stuff, look it up because we're not talking about that.
I mean, even like my roommate still plays Rainbow Six religiously, and that came out like a year and a half ago at this point, I think. So
yeah.
I mean, that's
and that was another one. I think at first it kind of seemed like Rainbow Six wasn't gonna be that big, but then it just kept going and going and going and just kept selling.
Or people kind of just like about it at first, but then they added some stuff and now like, okay, this game's great.
Yeah,
it's one of those cases. I just want to say, like before you mentioned it earlier, I forgot For Honor existed.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is fair. I mean, I reviewed For Honor for the paper, and I already talked about it in a previous podcast. I think it's a really good game. It's gonna get exactly. I mean, that's kind of everyone's already forgotten about it.
But like you said, it could be a game where it's a long tail or whatever. Like as if they can keep the community and people still like it, I can have those sales later. Like during the summer, have like a Black Friday sale. That game can keep on going.
From what I've heard, the community they have is pretty dedicated. From what I've heard,
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like that's a very niche community that's doing that, so they're just gonna stick with it for a while. But.
And it's a unique game, so it's people have a lot better chance of gravitating to it than like maybe like Ghost Recon, where I'm sure the difference. I don't know much about it, but it does just looking at another shooty
Yeah,
game.
it's a third-person shooter. So, yeah.
Well, another game that is somehow getting hidden, but I thought there was no way that there would be anything that could take away from it. But Mass Effect Andromeda, between like Zelda and Horizon and everything, and kind of the controversy over it being, it kind of seems like hyperbolic to me, but everyone's saying a lot of negative things about it. Basically, it's not the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And the faces.
And the faces are a little janky, but I mean, I can't talk that much on it because I haven't played it, but you have, right?
Yeah. I think that did get kind of screwed over by some of the, like the animation stuff before the game actually released, and people were just quick to judge. That's not to say that, I mean, like you said, it's not a 10 out of 10 or anything like that. But I played about 8 hours probably, and I'm just a little bit out of the introduction area, so I've done the tutorial and finally got my ship and stuff. It's not a spoiler, promise. But yeah,
ship?
So
what? In my space game?
So I'm on a.
Have you had romantic relations with any aliens yet?
I haven't even gotten the chance to flirt yet. Man, it's been rough.
It's Miranda in this one. I just know that name. That's a person in the other games, right?
I did romance Miranda in 3. Yeah. But. Yeah, I think it is a good game. If you like Mass Effect, like there's no reason I don't think that you wouldn't like this one. It's
just don't expect it to be the best thing ever, or
it's not
better than the other games.
Exactly, it's not gonna reach the height of Mass Effect 2 or 3, depending on where you are in that game. But it's definitely a good game. Definitely a Mass Effect. I think I never played the first Mass Effect, but what I've heard is it's a lot more. It has a lot more RPG elements than the other two.
Yeah.
And I think this one kind of goes back to that in some senses. I don't know if y'all have seen, but it's been getting hit by for the UI in some cases.
I've heard a little bit of that.
And it is horrendous in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just because there's an immense amount of stuff to do in that game. So
it's a pretty big world, isn't it?
It's a big world. Yesterday I got to my first solar system, and you can like scan planets and stuff. And one of the things that I found annoying about it already is that whenever you travel from planet to planet, there's like a 7-second cutscene or something, which doesn't sound like that long, but oh my gosh, when you do it over and over, so frustrating.
That's one thing I kind of hate in games like Red Dead Redemption is one of my favorite games of all time, but I got to the point where it's like, if I have to watch John Marston skin another animal,
oh my gosh,
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand that.
Hopefully they make that an option too, for skipping.
Yeah, please let us skip there, please. Please. But also, is it kind of I don't really play the Mass Effect games, but I know that they've kind of increasingly been getting more and more like action games, kind of, and I've heard that this one's kind of even more that way. Like it's more of the third person like shooting and everything. I mean, you think that's right or is
I don't know. I probably am not far enough to really know that completely, but I don't know. I think the combat is better. They've really refined that, and I think it's made it a lot more fun to actually shoot. But in the same sense, like I do think it has a lot more RPG elements than I was expecting, actually, which is what I was bringing up earlier with Mass Effect 1. So I think it's actually a pretty solid mix between the two. Yeah.
That sounds cool. So if you're a Mass Effect fan, maybe check it out. Despite the
pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, there's again so many games right now, but
Yeah.
it definitely seems like that. I think if this game came out in a different time during the year, the conversation would be a lot different about it.
Mm-hmm.
I've played like no games this week though, but I think Jeff's played actually some Snake game, right?
Yeah. I'll get to that. But surprisingly, I played more than just Zelda. I actually have played very little Zelda. Partly because of time and partly because I want to try out some other stuff.
What kind of Switch owner are you, Jeff?
I know. Surprisingly, there are 3 games I guess I can talk about, and they're all on Switch. I know it's surprising. It's more than Zelda. But just something real quick. The first game I played some of is Shovel Knight. I had not played Shovel Knight before. This is my first time playing it. I just played the first few levels. I'm not going to go in deep into, I guess, obviously the mechanics of it all, because most people listening to this should know what Shovel Knight is at this point. But I will say I'm liking it a lot. It does have that feel of an old 2D platformer. I think especially with the challenge, everything, and it feels good on the Switch in handheld mode. Only complaint is the D-pad on the Switch is not the best. So I'm going to the...
Well, because it's not really a D-pad. It's
D-pad.
It's like buttons,
Yeah. So I'm going to the left stick, which is fine generally, but it's not precise, so I'm making mistakes here and there.
I think Shovel Knight I've convinced myself that I'm going to get a Vita for the past 2 years, and that's never happened. But that was one of those games where I wanted to play that on Vita, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Have you ever played it at all, Shovel Knight?
No, I haven't, no. I've heard it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really good game, especially if you like any old school 2D games like that. It's definitely kind of homage to older school games. But
and you get your money's worth because they have right now 3 campaigns, they released the 4th one, and just getting the original normal game will get you the other ones for free.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Well, as you get the package too. You can buy each campaign separately, but if you get the thing together, it's $25 right now.
Yeah,
I think it's worth it.
I think so.
Next thing I played, last week was the Splatoon 2 global test fire thing. So pretty much last weekend during 6 different 1-hour periods, Nintendo let you play Splatoon 2 online.
Wait, I didn't know it was organized like that.
Yeah, they did in just 6 1-hour periods. The only time you can play. I know your first reaction is that sounds stupid. Why not just do it all weekend? But it makes sense in the fact that they want to test the servers.
Were they tweaking it in between them or something? Or
Yeah. I haven't paid attention as much, but at least they did it for the first Splatoon. If you compare how it played from the first session to the last one, there was an improvement. And I assume it was the same with this. This is just more people try out the game, but also test the servers. See at the max we can get it. How does it run, and what can we do to fix it?
Oh yeah.
So as far as that goes, it's fine. Plus it was free, so it's not. People complain about it, I'm whatever. At least we're playing it.
Oh yeah. So what do you think of it? Because my biggest concern with Splatoon 2 is that it kind of just looks like Splatoon 1, and I'm wondering if it. Because at first I thought this was just going to be a port when we just saw the trailers and everything. I didn't even know this was a second game.
The only one.
Yeah,
called it.
Jeff was right. I mean, I was pretty adamant that it wasn't a new game, but it was. But does it feel like a new game?
For an all new game, technically no. But it feels like Splatoon. Obviously, that's a little different because the controls are going to be different because you're not playing on the Wii U gamepad.
Right.
And I'll go into that stuff in a minute because I tried a whole bunch of different control schemes because I just had to.
Jeff's just throwing Joy-Cons all over the place.
Yeah.
changing in mid-match, changing the controller.
But it felt like Splatoon. Obviously, the gameplay was the same. It was turf war. The default one, you just paint the ground. Yeah, I guess big gameplay changes. They switched the jump button to a different one.
Huge
So,
gameplay.
yeah. Gave a map button. No, actually, the jump button change messed people up so much.
Really?
Everyone tried the jump, but they opened up the map and they just got killed.
Splatoon 2 innovation.
Yeah, now with new jump button. You think that's gonna be on the back of the box?
But it's the way you approach it is different, just because they did switch out the weapons, new weapon in there. The supers are different, so it was just right there. There's another, strategy's different. So if you go in completely like you did in the first game, things may not go that well.
They have some new guns, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they had the little splat dually things, which is 2 things, and the weapon special because of the dodge roll.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making fun of it just because it's fun to make fun of things. But even if it's like not different at all, I think it's worth it to have it on the Switch. Especially if you didn't play this on the Wii U, which a lot of people didn't, because a lot of people didn't have Wii U's. Splatoon is an awesome game.
Mm-hmm.
Have you played Splatoon?
I have not played Splatoon. No.
It is awesome.
It's kind of funny to see Nintendo's shooter.
Yeah,
and Nintendo's take on a shooter is obviously like colorful and all over the place, but it's also very innovative. Like there's no game like that.
There's one game that's kind of like it. I can't remember. It's like a smaller indie thing. I think. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was tough for me to get in at first because it's been a while since I played. So
yeah,
I had to catch up, especially since a lot of people played after I stopped, and I played against a couple Japanese guys. So those guys are on a different level.
Well, me and Jeff, we'd be like playing it at night, and you stayed up too late when all the names would start turning into Japanese names.
That's awesome.
And you thought you were really good at it, but as soon as the Japanese names started popping up, you get decimated.
And I guess you may not know this, but Splatoon is huge in Japan.
Okay, yeah.
That was the big game for the Wii U there. So the fact that this is on a handheld, which handhelds are big in Japan, that's huge. I think that's you may have a problem with it, but that's probably why they push kind of Splatoon 2 to try to get it out so soon and try to get it out as soon as possible. Yeah.
I just picture people walking in front of trains because they're looking down playing the Switch. Splatoon on their Switch.
But yeah, gameplay. Obviously, not gonna lie, it's Splatoon. Not a bad thing, and it's just the basic mode. So there's going to be more stuff. The Turf War is just the basic mode. So the probably competitive modes they normally have, they'll probably change up some.
Yeah. And
the story mode's gonna be completely different, all that kind of stuff, and new stages and remix stages, which they've already announced.
They still have that cat.
Yes. Oh, but it has a little clone cat.
Two cats.
Yes. Judd and
does the cat say, "Don't ever mess with me or my son ever again"?
It might. But
it's "Don't ever talk to me or my son ever."
But yeah, naturally I had to try with all the different control schemes. The first one I tried was just the Joy-Con grip, and it on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
It felt kind of weird at first because, like I said, I'm used to the Wii U gamepad, so it kind of having a regular controller is weird. It took me a little while to adjust back to the motion controls because I got more used to playing Overwatch recently.
Good.
With the stick, but I was able to adjust pretty quickly.
Come from the dark side of motion controls.
No, motion controls are great in this game. But yeah, I enjoyed that.
I think the thing with Splatoon, and probably just Nintendo Switch in general, is that I would not be interested in playing that on a home console. But the fact that I could just take that anywhere is really cool to me.
I think that's going to be a big thing, especially with indie games for the Switch.
Yeah.
I see a lot of that. I wouldn't be interested in this otherwise, or be kind of interested but not pull the trigger on it. Mm-hmm. But since I can take this on the go and do it on the TV if I want to, that will sell people on games. It's kind of doing it with me on some things. But
and me and Jeff were talking about there's certain games like there's a JRPG called I Am Setsuna. It's like a Chrono Trigger inspired game, and that's if I had a Switch, you can have it on the Switch or the PS4, but that game's not going to run any worse on the Switch because it's a simple game. Why wouldn't you get it on the Switch? Because you can take it wherever you go and
trophies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some reason some people get it on the PS4 with a Switch. Or some games.
Well,
Or
yeah.
double dip.
I think I only have 3 platinums and 2 of them are Telltale games. So I don't think that trophies are.
I don't have any platinums, so. Okay, next I tried it in the handheld mode. I had it on motion to begin with. I don't like it that way because.
Oh wait, yeah, that doesn't even make because you have to look at it. Yeah, that would be horrible.
So yeah, obviously you're moving around trying to aim, but then you try to look at the screen. I switched it to, the stick, and it was fine. I had to adjust to it real quick. Like, okay.
Oh wait, so is the default to use the motion controls?
Yeah.
So you use the motion controls to aim whenever it's on TV, generally.
Yeah. But, well, not completely. Just mainly, I think it's up and down, but you use the stick to go aim sideways.
Huh.
It was the same way in the Wii U version, and Jeff and apparently everyone else in the world preferred the motion control.
No,
I hated
like,
it, but
That's interesting.
Like 75%. I think Nintendo said the stats are 75% of people use motion controls.
That's really interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah. So yeah, I really liked it in the handheld. Otherwise, not being able to really use motion controls that well. It looked really good. It looked like it ran really good. I couldn't really tell much of a difference. I'm not the biggest frame rate guy, but obviously it was really awful. I noticed it. I didn't test this out, but some other people did the battery life on it, like using on Splatoon, since it's supposed to be different between each game. After an hour, it was comparable to Zelda.
okay.
So probably on a full charge, about 3 hours playing Splatoon on the handheld mode.
It's not bad.
Yeah, so I have no complaints about it in handheld mode other than the whole motion control thing. Now, the next way I tried it was very interesting. Between matches, I was just reading the NeoGAF online, just kind of getting some impressions and seeing how people are thinking about things. I saw a couple people say, hey guys, try putting it in tabletop mode with Joy-Cons in each hand.
Yes.
It's the best thing ever.
Oh, it's the best thing.
Relax.
Yes. I can only do that.
Spread eagle, just.
I can only try it for the last match and a half. But I tried it. They actually felt really good. Surprisingly.
His eyes were open.
Because, you have it, obviously one in each hand. And the motion, actually I tested out, the motion control stuff's only in the right Joy-Con.
Huh.
So you only have to move the right one to aim.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'll have to do some more because it's only a match and a half, but it felt really good.
I'll have to try it. That just sounds horrible.
Well, also, obviously, I just did it on the tabletop mode because that was the easiest thing to do at the time. I only had 5 minutes left of the test fire. I didn't try it on the TV. But I really liked it. Apparently a lot of people really liked it, so that might be a popular way to play.
When does Splatoon come out?
They just say summer.
I thought they had it. Okay.
I think that's all. I don't think they have a release month for anything. And so we don't know exactly when it's going to be their summer game. Okay. One more game I played. Snake Pass.
Yeah, I've heard about this game. I still haven't seen it. So what is Snake Pass?
It's kind of a weird thing to describe it this way, considering there's no jumping, but it's kind of like a puzzle or physics puzzle 3D platformer.
There's no Splatoon jump button?
Nope.
I'm not buying
it. Can't.
But as the name suggests, you are a snake. And you just go around and try to collect stuff. It's like an N64 Rare inspired 3D platformer.
Yeah.
So collective fun.
Yeah.
But the controls are kind of hard to get used to at first because they're just so weird.
That's what if you know Brian Altano at IGN, he was talking about playing the game. He said he couldn't control it and he was getting frustrated. And then the developer said, "Control it, think like a snake."
Yes, that's what I did.
And he said after he said that, he was able to do it.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I don't know what that means exactly.
It's hard to describe. I'm not the best at the game right now, but I'm getting it. I only completed a couple levels. It doesn't seem to be the longest game, but obviously if you try to collect everything, it'll take longer. But it seems to be a good short game.
So are
it's
you
20
fighting
bucks.
anything, or is it just
no enemies?
Okay.
You're just using the snake and the snake physics to collect things, like wrapping around bamboo on poles and stuff.
Huh.
I mean, do you think this is something? I've heard some people said it was really fun, but they could see it getting tired of it kind of fast. I mean, do you think?
I see that, but the thing is, it's a $20 game, and there's like 15 levels, something like that, I think. So it lasts you, I think some people say like 5 to 6 hours. If you like it, you'll be able to play it that way.
Okay, I didn't know it was
and there's a like a time trial mode in there too for people who want to do that. I think as far as that, if it's like a really big long like $60 game, oh yes, most definitely.
Okay.
But it being like a short $20 game, I think it's like perfect for that.
Right.
I like it a lot.
All right. Well, if you've ever wanted to be a snake,
Think like a snake.
Yes.
if you sit at home thinking like a snake,
Yeah. And if you're gonna try it, it's gonna be frustrating at first.
just think like a snake.
Just keep on going at it. Obviously, if you just don't like it, you don't like it. That's okay. It's gonna be one of those games that's not for everyone for sure. But yeah, keep on giving it a try. You might like it. And I think it's important to note, if we haven't already said it, it's not just on the Switch. It's pretty much on everything else. PC, PS4, Xbox One.
Is it mobile? Don't know.
Don't know. I don't think so.
I was just curious. I don't know.
Probably not.
Is it already out?
Yeah, it came out Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Also, I don't know if you guys have listened to it, but they had the creator / developer on the Kind of Funny Games cast, kind of telling his story. It's very interesting, like how he got to that point.
I have not heard that yet, because I listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
That's why I get them after you.
Yeah, that was a really cool story that kind of made me more like, okay, I want this game. Plus, it'll just fuel me until Ukulele comes out in a couple weeks. Yes. And there's a lot of controversy with Ukulele right now.
We'll be talking about it a lot in a few weeks when you actually play. I want to hear what you think about it more than anyone else, really, because you're the banjo dude.
Yeah, well, there's also controversy with the JonTron stuff. I don't know if you heard about that.
That kind of controversy.
Well, and some controversy about people who are getting it early, and just I don't know.
Anyway, all right. Are we ready for the news?
I guess we are. We got a fair amount of news.
All right, we need to come up with some news jingle at some point. If you have a news jingle, send it in.
Yep. But nothing that will get us in trouble, please.
No, like a news jingle you made.
We'll even take you singing beautifully, jingle, jingle, jingle.
Please send us videos of you singing jingle, 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 whoever you are. All right, what's the first item we have, Jeffrey?
Okay, the first story is a follow-up of our topic of the show of our first episode. And so yeah, Outlast 2 ban was a mistake. This comes from Luke Riley from IGN.
Good thing we did a whole show about it.
Yeah. Outlast 2 developer Red Barrels, great name by the way, has clarified that Outlast 2's recent classification snag in Australia was caused by a misleading video file provided with the submission. The original submission of Outlast 2 sent to the Australian classification branch contained the final game code and a video file for reference taken from an alpha version of the game, the studio explained in a statement provided to IGN. This video file should not have been sent along with the game code, as its content was not representative of the final game. In the second submission, the same game code was submitted with a video file reflecting the final game content. The game was then approved for release with an R18 plus rating. It was also reiterated that all territories will get the same version of Outlast 2, Australia included. And the studio then stressed there will be only one version of Outlast 2 available worldwide. So
yeah, this shows that what made them get banned in Australia wasn't actually meant to be in the game anywhere.
That's not exciting.
Yeah.
That's boring.
Takes all the drama out of it.
But
I guess it does mean that at one point, like, part of they made it. They made the scene that they saw at some point with thinking it might be in the game. They just ended up taking it out, but it got sent to the Australians anyway. Which it seems like Australia's the worst people to get a random video thing, because they're the ones that are the most stringent about this kind of thing. But.
Yeah. I'm expecting when we got a follow-up to that to have more, something bigger.
Something
juicier. Just
juicier.
like, oh, it was a mistake. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to come out and call out Australia. Oh, well,
I wanted a war being started.
Red Barrels versus Australia.
Donald Trump declares wars. We can't stand for this. I think our conversation is still relevant though, Jeff, about banned games, even if this isn't exciting anymore.
Yeah, we talked about the general thing about banning and censorship.
I think we're still good.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay, next news story, and it might be the biggest one on this whole list of news.
At least for most people.
Yeah.
Just not me or Jeff, so thank God we have Will.
Yep. Destiny 2 has been announced. And this comes from Jonathan Dornbush from IGN. Destiny 2 will be released on September 8th, Bungie has revealed. The sequel will be available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. An open beta for the sequel will be coming this summer, and the game is now available for pre-order. Those who pre-order the game will receive early access to the beta. More information about the beta, which will come to all 3 platforms, including its launch date, will be available at a later time. Bungie will also reveal the first gameplay for the sequel during a live stream on May 18th. The PS4 version of the game will have time-exclusive content until at least the fall of 2018, and more details will come this summer. A Destiny 2 expansion pass will also be available for purchase separately and as part of the digital deluxe edition of the game. It will include access to 2 major expansions, which will include brand new story missions, cooperative activities, competitive multiplayer, and a wealth of new weapons, armor, and gear. So, yeah.
No.
It's
really no surprise this is coming, but awesome to see.
I guess, yeah, the most surprising thing, it's coming in September, which you thought, that part's kind of bare, but we got this and Shadow of War, whatever, the Mordor sequel is coming out around the same time?
Yeah.
Like August or something?
I mean, that's what's that? How far out that is? Like 6 months away? So
really a pretty fast turnaround.
About 5 months at this point
from announcement to release. This.
I mean, the only game that I can think of that's done that recently has been Fallout 4. That was
really with that short of a span.
I think that's
big of
cool.
a game, especially since, from what I understand, Destiny 2 is still really steady content even until kind of recently.
Yeah, I know. Like the last DLC content just came out, I think, this week.
Well, it's pretty much like a completely different game from the original Destiny. So what do you're the one that's played Destiny at least more than we have. What would you want out of a Destiny sequel?
Gosh.
Because it kind of seems like a lot of people are wondering if they were even going to do a sequel because they just kept releasing DLC.
I kind of thought they were going to do that. I don't know. Once I tell you why I dropped out, you're probably going to know why or what I'm looking for. But I basically stopped after The Taken King came out, which was, I guess, the 3rd DLC or so, but it was the first game-changing DLC, which is what you were talking about, how it's completely different now. So I didn't get any of the DLC packs. I just played the base game the entire time. And so obviously I just kind of wanted a complete experience from the beginning. And I loved playing the Crucible, which is just the multiplayer stuff. It reminded me a lot of Halo, obviously. I played that game with a lot of friends. I had a lot of fun leveling up and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. The 2 DLC packs that are already announced, it's like, man, I don't know if I want to spend $60 on this again, knowing that it's only going to be relevant for a few months before I feel like I need more gear or whatever. But the Destiny players, obviously, that are still around are super into that. They don't care. So
yeah, it's for certain people. I'm not as into like the gear grind thing that they have in there, and I only played the original. Like I played like 2 hours of the original Destiny 2, and that's kind of, I was left thinking like it felt a little empty back then too, where it was just like the same thing.
I'd be cool if they had a legitimate story mode or something like that. I would think about picking it up, but if it's just the gear grinding and stuff like that again, I'd be less likely.
I think they've kind of hinted. Obviously, I don't know too much about Destiny in general, but they may have hinted more about a story because they have a cinematic trailer, which had some funny moments. Even though I'm not a Destiny guy, and they had, wasn't in here, but I saw something about them kind of detailing the story. Yeah, I don't know much about Destiny, so I don't know how big that is.
That would be cool.
And from what I've heard, like some of the other DLC, like Taken King and everything, kind of advanced the story enough there. And that was one of the biggest complaints when Destiny first came out, was that there was no story.
Yeah.
I just hope that Destiny 2 at launch will be a full, complete game, like you said. I hope you don't have to wait 7 months after Destiny 2 comes out, and then it'll be the game you want. That's kind of annoying.
No, you gotta buy the expansion pass.
I don't know how I felt about that trailer, actually. I got some Borderlands vibes, which was kind of weird coming from...
That might be why I liked it.
Maybe.
I think it's... If I'm right, I guess it's also important to point out, I think this is the first time Destiny's been on PC. I don't think Destiny 1 was, so...
Which is huge.
That's huge.
That's really huge, actually.
So, I'm interested to see how this does, just with everything.
Yeah.
We said, I'm not interested in the game, but I definitely get why people are, and I see the quality.
Tremendous amount of people that are. Have they said that, whether or not your character carries over yet?
It does not.
Okay. I figured it didn't, and that's all the rumors I heard. But
in the trailer, they're like, all your loot's gone, basically. They straight up say that. So
I mean, I think that's how it should be when you go into a new game. If not, if you're a newcomer coming into this and you come in here and everyone's already the highest level,
at that point, it'd just be a big expansion pack.
Pretty much, yeah.
So. Yeah, and then they probably get more complaints if they did allow carryover.
Yeah.
Than them not doing it.
It might be cool if you automatically get if you're the level cap or something, maybe you get bumped up to level 10 or something, but it shouldn't be huge.
Yeah.
Or
I agree.
This is me just bouncing off the top of my head, but maybe you're certain levels you get cool special items or something.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing big, but
something cool.
Say we appreciate you.
At least me personally, if I'm getting this new game, I'd want to start from the bottom.
Because even then, again, I don't know how Destiny works. If you start out a higher level, the beginning will be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or you might just miss parts. Yeah,
that's true.
That's no fun.
Did you talk about the gameplay and stuff?
Hey, I mentioned it. May 18th. That's when you'll get the first look at gameplay.
That is cool that it's that fast of a turnaround. I want more games to do that.
Yeah. Also, I think if we can all agree, Destiny 2 is going to be at least Sony's press conference.
Yeah,
at E3 because they said, Yeah, that's true. Time exclusive content.
Yeah, so they still have that thing with Sony.
Yeah, which is huge for Sony, and it's kind of sometimes it's points poor Microsoft.
How'd they let Bungie get?
I know, Bungie. it's so weird. I remember that when I first heard about that with Bungie's with Sony doing this with Destiny, I was like, what?
I know there'd be some crossover, and then we'd still be kind of saying a similar thing. But imagine if Bungie stayed, but they had Destiny and Halo in Gears of War. Right. All shooty, but still, those are big things.
Yeah, those are big things.
Okay, well.
Speaking of big games.
Big shooty games.
I think that's the official title, the official genre title.
Yep. Yeah, this comes from Tom Phillips from Eurogamer. This year's Call of Duty game is titled Call of Duty World War II. Sources have confirmed to Eurogamer. Developed by Sledgehammer Games, the studio behind 2014's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, this new Call of Duty will be the first to venture back to the series' World War roots since 2008's World at War. Images published on YouTube channel The Family Video Gamers last weekend showed logos and box art for Call of Duty World War II. Eurogamer has since verified this does indeed relate to this year's game. After declining sales of this series came to a head last year with the widely disliked Infinite Warfare, Activision Suits recently reassured investors that Call of Duty would head back to its roots.
Yeah. Not surprising. I like this because I've definitely kind of fallen out of Call of Duty in recent years, as I know a number of other people have too. But I really like the old school Call of Duties, like the World War, and even going into Modern Warfare and that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see them not do space stuff. It just
I agree.
I think this kind of excites me a little bit more than that. Even though, it says widely disliked, but and yes, the sales were declining, but Infinite Warfare was still the best-selling game of last year by a mile. So
that's not my opinion. That's what the article said, by the way.
I know.
Eurogamer.
You, Jeff, you said.
I think
I read all the stuff I read.
It'll be interesting to see what Battlefield does now, because it was cool last year having the wide discrepancy, I guess, between the future Call of Duty and then the past Battlefield. Now, if they're both in the past, that'll be interesting to see what unfolds.
I just had a thought. Again, I don't know much about Call of Duty. I don't pay attention to all this stuff, but it could be interesting since they do have teams that kind of rotate. They kind of went back and forth between future and like the past stuff, so it doesn't get old from year to year.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, they have 4 studios working. 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
I at least know 3. There's
Yeah.
Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer at least. But
Yeah, I think those are the only ones because 3 years sounds about right for these games.
I know more about with Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer. I mean Treyarch. I don't know which game Sledgehammer's done. Like Advanced Warfare. But...
Sledgehammer did Advanced Warfare, and they helped with Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
So Sledgehammer's next. Yeah.
That's this one.
Yeah.
This one. So. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's not a very unique name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
they want to make it clear we're going back to what you want.
And that's not even. Shouldn't it be Roman numerals? World War II.
Mm.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought Battlefield 1 was
Sorry,
like
nitpicking.
the worst name.
Oh, I
hated it.
the game seems awesome, but I still think that is a horrible name.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's technically like Battlefield 7 or whatever, pretty much.
I always said it should have just been like Battlefield: The Great War.
Yeah, I thought that would have been. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a really cool name.
Hopefully, I mean, no. I was gonna say maybe World War II is just the code name, but there's like posters and stuff. So, oh well.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of things in the last few years have been named very poorly. The fact that Battlefield 1, they were the second people to name something 1 when it wasn't the first, because there's the Xbox One.
Okay.
I will always say that name's awful.
Oh, I still
Xbox
think
One.
Like some people everyone's like, yeah, you'll get over it. It's like, yeah, of course I will, because it's a major console. I'm gonna get used to it. I still think it's dumb. I've gotten used to it, and I say it and don't think about it. But I still think Xbox One is stupid.
They probably just screwed themselves with Xbox 360 in the beginning. Like, we think of that just off the cuff now, but I mean, that's a weird name too.
That's what I thought. It was either gonna be the 720 or like Infinity. Wasn't that one?
Infinite
cool.
Or Infinite or something like that.
Yeah, it's that. Like you said, starting out with 360 as a second console just kind of screwed them with anything. Like PlayStation just has it like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Yeah, everyone knows what you're getting.
Did you know there was they were thinking about not calling it PS4, or people were thinking that they weren't going to do
it?
it?
Yeah, because isn't like 4 like a kind of in Japanese culture just kind of
it's like
bad luck number?
Yeah, I think the word for 4 sounds a lot like the word for death in Japanese.
Yeah,
I think. And it's the number 13, so they were thinking it might not be called that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, they kind of were probably like, well, it'd be good for marketing if we put it before, so we'll just suck it up.
Yeah. So in Japan they just call it the PlayStation Death.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Japan's not their market at this point anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I'm interested to see comparing Vita and PS4 sales there. How those two compare.
Wait, Vita and Switch, you mean?
The Vita and PS4 in Japan.
Since
the handheld things are usually bigger.
Vita's a lot bigger in Japan.
Okay,
and the Japanese games are a lot what is driving the Vita sales.
That's true.
But there's a lot that even Final Fantasy 15 I think sold a lot better in America, and it was obviously the whole thing's kind of trying to be Western inspired. I mean, it's kind of like a Japanese developer's take on Western culture, so it's not exactly. But there's a lot. I think Japanese developers making games for American audiences is starting to become the norm.
Wow, I just kind of remember something. I think Xenoblade Chronicles X sold better here.
Really?
I think so. I think that's what I saw.
And that is a Japan game. That's like a very Japanese game.
I mean, X is not as Japanese as the original Xenoblade, but yeah, I might be wrong. I think I saw that.
Wow.
It might also be the fact the Wii U sales are just kind of bad everywhere, so.
That's true.
It's, yeah. Okay, well, we can go on to the next story. The next story is Final Fantasy XIV free trial time restriction taken away. And this comes from Alex Osborne at IGN. According to Square Enix's announcement on PlayStation blog, players can now check out all the game's content up to level 35 without any time restriction. All free trial accounts, even those that have expired, will be revived so that players can return to their character and resume where they left off. Free trial players can level up any and all classes to 35, try out the various jobs, race chocobos, battle their way through the first 10 levels of the Deep Dungeon, and more. You can download the free trial from the PlayStation Store. And Final Fantasy XIV is available for PlayStation 4, PS3, PC, and Mac. Recent reports suggest that Square Enix is considering a Nintendo Switch version, and last year the publisher was in talks with Microsoft to bring the MMORPG to Xbox One.
Free. Yeah, why not? Check it out if you're into it. I played RuneScape back in the day. You think I'm ready?
Yeah.
You think that prepared me for... I mean like OG RuneScape. Not
I was there with you.
Yeah. I'm just on the audience. So it was like...
We were talking about this before the podcast about what exactly it means to get to level 35 in this game. Just looking at it sounds like, that's a kind of a generous thing.
Yeah, depending. I mean, we don't know much about it, but seems cool.
Yeah, kind of good to get the word out, especially if they are considering an Xbox One and Switch version.
If my life wasn't a swirling hell of schoolwork all the time, I might try it out, but...
why is it
I'm not even going to bother with...
I don't know why it's swirling, Will. That's the problem.
I'm not even going to bother with an MMO at this point in my life.
I can't even play Horizon on a consistent basis.
I have Zelda. That's all I need in life.
It's too hard just to play a single player game at this point. There you go. There's your sales for Xenoblade. Significantly higher in North America, actually.
William,
and I was even talking about X, the Wii U.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
X, go give it to you like you did the
hand motion.
the like X thing.
I mean, if NX is failing us with that, I got to use what I can.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, still excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I really hope it's coming out this year. Okay, as we go on to the next story. And this comes from Jordan Serrani from IGN. The Witness developer...
You can do it, Jeff.
Thefkla Incorporated is officially hiring for its next game. I butchered that. I know it.
I'm just glad you're the one that has to read it.
Yeah, your time will come. Creator Jonathan Blow revealed on Twitter the studio is searching for an experienced 3D character animator to work on a new, unannounced game. This will be the third game from the game designer/programmer who also created Braid, a puzzle platformer initially released in 2008.
Witness is definitely like, if you like The Witness, you'll like The Witness. If you...
Seems like a game I'll like, but at the same time, I'll get frustrated because I'm stupid.
Yeah, if you think games are too easy and your life is too easy and you hate fun, play The Witness. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I just really like
it's
puzzles.
Not my thing. Yeah, it's not my thing, but really cool game for...
And notebooks to write down clues not included.
Yeah. I need to go. I have to apply for that job.
Okay, next story. GameStop closes 100 plus stores. This comes from Jackie Waddles from CNN Money. I just love that sentence.
Jackie Waddles.
Jackie Waddles here.
Why are you here, Jackie Waddles?
Because I can be. Okay.
Switch voices.
GameStop announced earlier this week that it's shutting down 2 to 3% of its stores. That means as many as 190 stores could be on the chopping block. GameStop currently operates more than 6,600 stores globally, including 4,400 in the U.S. It's unclear how many domestic stores the Texas-based company plans to close. The retailer of new and used video games has been on shaky ground for a while. Its stock has plummeted more than 31% over the past year. Last week, the company said its overall sales fell 13.6% last quarter compared to a year prior.
Like, I would say this is the beginning of the end, but the beginning started a long time ago. This is just nothing. I feel like there's nothing more obvious, like, in the gaming industry than that.
The end of GameStop?
GameStop is just slowly moving towards its
thankfully,
demise.
they've been somewhat smart in terms of, like, now they have a publishing house and they still own Game Informer, which is, a pretty huge company. But, yeah, the physical store is going down.
Well, I mean, not even just saying like people going digital, but the fact that Best Buy and Amazon exist.
Yeah, Amazon for sure. I mean, with that $48 for a new game if you have Prime.
And same thing with Best Buy's thing, like $30 for 2 years, you get $20 off, 20% off all new games.
Yeah,
or
Jeff's gotten lots of discounts and stuff with the Best Buy. That's why they're being attacked from so many different angles.
Yeah,
it just seems like they're doing everything. I really feel like GameStop's doing everything they can. Like they're doing everything right that they can. It's impossible. They're going to fall eventually, and I think they know that, and they're just kind of writing it out.
Did y'all pay attention to the Kotaku stories about the Circle of Life initiative?
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
Did we release that episode? Or?
Oh yeah, that might have been one of the test episodes.
That might have been one of the test episodes.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, that shows you right there why they resorted to that. They were just dying.
Desperation.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but...
It's sad, but that kind of thing. I kind of lose some sympathy when you're like doing stuff. And for those who don't know, this was basically, there was a report that GameStop employees were basically being incentivized for selling used games. So some people like working at the store would say that they didn't have new games on stock when they actually did. Yeah. Because it hurt them if they sold new games.
And that even included like some new games that happened to be cheaper than the used versions. They would just like basically hide those and say, oh, we don't have it new right now, but we have this used version for $55 or whatever.
Yeah, I think the example there's in the Kotaku article is Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
Which, good on the people for buying that game at least.
Yeah. It's just shady stuff like that, and I feel like we're going to see more of it as GameStop just goes down. And that kind of stuff's inexcusable. Like, I don't know. It's obviously it's heading this way, and we might start to see it happening more and more rapidly now because 190 stores going out just like that. You know, that's.
When was the last time y'all went to a GameStop? Do you know?
Probably just like maybe one time we were messing around like a mall or something and just trying to find something to do. Like going into like purposely to buy a game, it's been years.
I think I got Fire Emblem Fates from this one over here just because it was the closest thing. But and I also got something else. I think I got Tomb Raider from there for some reason too. But every time I've been in there recently, like you have to go in there and when you bring the game up to the counter, you have to say, no, I don't want your magazine. No, I don't want the subscription. No, I don't want a pre-order. No, I don't want to do this. No.
What I was going to say is just like how much they've changed because they have like a whole Funko Pop corner and they have t-shirts and they're just trying everything at this point to help save them.
I think I've seen like they actually make more money off of like non-games.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually there's going to be like a hot topic, but for video games.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I would be against that. I just want more like non-video game stuff. Just had it kind of mixed in there because we kind of, for the most part, like big nerd stores.
Yeah, it'd probably benefit them just to be, I don't know, like kind of second and Charles-y.
We're kind of like an all-purpose nerd store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's probably what they need to do to survive without just completely relying on the game development stuff.
Maybe between that and their game development, I mean, maybe they'll stick around. They'll just be something completely different.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see where they go. Okay, next story. This comes from Lucy O'Brien from IGN. Marvel's Guarding the Galaxy, the Telltale series, Episode 1, titled Tangled Up in Blue, will be available to play on April 18th. The first of 5 episodes, Tangled Up in Blue, will drop on PS4, Xbox One, PC, iOS, and Android-based devices for $4.99 US. Telltale has also announced the Guardians of the Galaxy Season Pass will be available in North America on May 2nd and internationally on May 5th. A trailer has been released recently, and it features Thanos.
I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
Really cool.
You like Telltale games?
Yeah, and I really like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I do like Telltale games. I hate waiting for Telltale games. I like playing them when they're all out.
Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna be, I still got a couple Telltale games I need to play. I got Game of Thrones and Tales of the Borderlands and Batman to play, so I can wait for this.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. I mean, I'm a huge comic book guy, so I do want to play I want to play this game at some point, but I also haven't played Batman yet. And think like I have Walking Dead season 2, but I haven't played that either, and that came out years ago. So
Yeah, I think I have that one. I just don't have season 1, so that's why I haven't played it. Because I think it was a PS Plus game. That's why I have it. Yeah.
I might try to get the Batman first as well, but this is. I just think it's interesting to see them like taking like a big thing like Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's kind of seeing Telltale go more into after Borderlands. Like, you know, up until like Borderlands, Telltale was mostly just you thought of them as like the serious drama type thing.
Yeah,
but in Borderlands, they showed that they can also be really hilarious and have like comedy stuff. So I feel like this is going to be more kind of reminiscent of the Borderlands team.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm curious. Have you guys seen the trailer for this?
I have not.
for the game,
Yeah. What did you think about it?
I thought it was good. It was, I mean, obviously a lot like the movie, which makes sense.
It's a Tuzo trailer, so I understand why they did this. The first thing for it, it kind of felt like, hey, you know all those kind of jokes that these characters are known for? Let's just pile them in this trailer while they're on an elevator.
Part of it did make me cringe. I was like, man.
It's like they're trying too hard to do movie jokes.
Yeah.
And some of it's kind of like, like you have Drax doing the whole it's over his head thing.
Yeah.
You have Rocket interpreting Groot's thing.
Yeah.
And the only thing that was like, okay, awesome, that's kind of different is the Thanos thing. Like, they showed them about to fight Thanos.
We'll see.
Yeah. Also, something interesting, I don't know if this is the way it is for Telltale games. I find it kind of weird that the season pass comes out like over 2 weeks after the first episode comes out. I doubt IGN got this wrong. Yeah.
Come on, Lucy.
You're done good.
So yeah, I'm excited for this, but yeah, I'm probably gonna at least wait for Batman.
Yeah.
Who's making the other Guardians of the Galaxy game?
Square Enix.
Yeah.
They are. Okay.
Eidos, Montreal.
Or the rumor, it's not been officially announced.
That's true. Yeah.
But
And
hopefully,
for some reason, the Avengers has been announced, and that's it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, that's. I will probably talk about this later.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
That might have been like maybe it was gonna be leaked or something. So like
Maybe Eurogamer.
Probably.
Okay, staying with some comic book games. It's that time of the week again, Darby.
Yeah, well, if you're not aware, pretty much every single podcast we've ever had, even the test episodes we didn't release, we have had Injustice 2 every single time.
And it's not because I just tried to pilot and here it's happened. They started opening the floodgates the moment we started doing this.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was no information until last month, I feel like.
Yeah, it was like Comic-Con or something, they announced Harley and Deadshot, and then months of nothing, and then suddenly, hey, guys, here's all the characters.
Yeah,
like,
they've done
announcing like 1
15,
week.
yeah.
So welcome to episode 3 of the Injustice 2 cast.
Yes.
The Injustice podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Oh, just you wait until it actually comes out.
You think Injustice cast is taken? Do you think that name's taken?
The Injustice.
Is it too late to change, Jeff?
There's a will, there's a way.
Well, we do have a will.
Yes.
I thought I joked my way able to say it. You beat me to it.
I'm now hosting the Injustice cast. Stay tuned.
Okay, well, since our last podcast, there have been 2 trailers, I believe, and I don't think Darby's watched either of them. We forgot.
Oh, yeah, we were going to do that. See, the thing is, I just come in here just remarkably unprepared, and I just kind of talk a bunch into this microphone, and I just hope that you can cover for me, Jeff. That's how this works.
I try. But, okay.
So I'm taking your place.
First trailer that was released
probably be better that way.
First trailer was released like a week ago. It was a story trailer that focused on Supergirl, and not much there other than Supergirl like stuff. But it did announce Black Adam as a playable character. Which, the weird thing is, where's Shazam?
That's true. Oh wait,
he's dead.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No, you don't have to worry about spoilers.
Okay. No spoilers for 2012's Injustice.
Yeah.
Was it that long ago?
2013, I think.
15.
So like a 2-year cycle for NetherRealm games. Injustice 2 years later, Mortal Kombat 2 years later. Which I'm fine with, but yeah. Then there was a trailer this past week that focused on villains. It featured previous announced villains, Gorilla Grodd and Bane, showing the first gameplay of Bane, but also announcing Captain Cold and Scarecrow as playable characters.
Scarecrow is a weird one. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting Scarecrow.
Yeah, but then you see his designs like, well, they tried to make him work, and then it's the whole thing of, Too much Batman.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think Captain Cold's an obviously cool addition.
I'm so happy with Captain Cold.
Because Reverse Flash is in this, right?
He's a special skin for the Flash.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently he's gonna be in the story mode. I guess you saw that story trailer.
I haven't seen the story one. I've just seen the.
But yeah, they announced for the Ultimate Edition you get a skin for the Flash, which replaces his voice and voice lines and everything.
Gotcha.
They have a couple cool skins like that, like Power Girl and Jon Stewart Green Lantern.
Oh, cool.
And I'll just go ahead and say it. There's a rumor that there's gonna be a Mr. Freeze one for Captain Cold.
That would be cool. I'd be okay with that.
But I guess since you're also a comic book nerd, what do you think of these additions?
I'm cool with all of them. I think Grodd was interesting, but I mean, same with Grodd and Gorilla Grodd and Captain Cold. I think it's cool that Flash villains are getting in there because he didn't have any in the first one, right?
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with that.
Yeah, and I mean, Black Adam was basically a given at this point.
Yeah, I was a little surprised because he was in the leak that came months ago. So I pretty much have known this roster for a while. But I guess, Black Adam makes sense, especially when they're going to try to push The Rock as Black Adam. But just the fact that Shazam's dead.
Yeah,
in this
that's going to be weird. And for Bane, so many people played as him online. I feel like you just had to include him.
Yeah, he was honestly one I was thinking was going to get cut. Because, at least from a story perspective, he didn't add anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
I thought it was more of, because of Dark Knight Rises, he got in.
I think when you go to make a fighting game, you make the game and then throw the story in later, pretty much. You made the story adapt to the game.
Yeah.
I thought this was a Captain Cold trailer. It's showing like everyone else in the world. There he is.
Yeah.
I was watching the gameplay. Oh, there's Scarecrow looks awesome.
Yeah.
Holy crap, Scarecrow looks cool.
Yeah, the thing with Scarecrow is you don't know exactly what he's going to do with him. I might be getting the name wrong because I like comic books a lot. Obviously don't know everything, but some people are saying it's either his fear toxin serum, whatever is in effect the whole fight, and that's just the other fighters seeing him that way.
Oh, huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, or since he died in the comics, he's being brought back as like the Rot or whatever. The Swamp Thing related.
That'd be cool if it was like the fear-induced.
Yeah, either one of those I think would be cool.
Yeah.
That chain looks very annoying.
Yeah.
Get over here!
That I didn't really think of that. Yeah, people are gonna gravitate towards him.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm pretty cool with these guys, and based off what we know, there's only one unannounced character for the regular roster. And if you know anything about DC and you know who's announced, you know who it is.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go through this. I know Darkseid's pre-order, so it can't be him. Sinestro, is he done?
There's a huge hint. It's very obvious. It's like
Lex Luthor? I don't know.
More obvious.
Like you might already think he's in the game, but you can't remember.
The only reason you're not saying
villain?
Huh? It's a villain.
What the heck?
I think as obvious of a villain as you
Joker.
Yeah. He's not technically been announced, but it's a weird thing because he's dead.
No,
that's the reason very much dead.
No, Jeff, I think they're gonna cut him. He's not that important. People just aren't into Joker.
Who likes Joker?
I mean, you know.
Zombie Joker confirmed.
Heath Ledger wasn't that good, you know.
Blasphemy.
Jeff, completely kidding.
But now that we know the whole roster, I mean, we knew it for a while, but now it's like almost officially announced. Looking at it and gameplay and stuff, I kind of like this roster more than the first game. Just partly because there are deeper cuts.
Deeper cut, like much deeper than I thought it was going to go, which is cool. It's kind of like NetherRealm being like kind of like giving the you guys a wink, you know, being like
a bunch of winks.
It's like, we know this stuff. We know the audience that's playing this, and we're just gonna go full into the DC lore here.
One of my favorite parts of the first game was the I don't know, it's like the Hall of Justice map, I guess, where you could like go inside and you saw the JSA uniforms and stuff. I love those Easter eggs, so it's cool that we're gonna be able to play as some deeper cut characters.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, Blue Beetle's awesome.
Firestorm, Dr. Fate.
I can't
even kind of Cheetah.
It's been a long time since
Swamp Thing.
It's been a long time since I watched the Blue Beetle video, but it looked like Captain Cold reminded me a lot. He looked a lot like him, like just like jumping around and flying around. I might have been looking at the wrong thing. But Or not Captain Cold.
Well, I will say that Captain Cold is only a little bit of footage, but he right away looks to me a little more interesting than I normally find on Sub-Zero. To me personally, just based on that little footage. It seems at least, I don't know. Need to see more, but he kind of gets me more right away than Sub-Zero normally has.
Well, you'll probably be able to compare them directly because Sub-Zero will probably be in the game.
No.
Jeff really loves that they put more. But it's different this time because this time they filled up the roster with a bunch of like random characters. So now it doesn't... Like last time it kind of seemed like they were putting Sub-Zero in when they could have put someone else. This time it's like, I don't know, this is pretty stacked.
It could be more stacked though.
Well, Jeff won't be happy until the roster's like 70 characters long.
I don't mind guest characters as much. It's just the fact that it's a Mortal Kombat character, and it is Sub-Zero because we already have an Ice character.
Mm.
And I mean, they made the moveset different, definitely, but it's just like, just color-wise and design-wise, they'll look very similar. At least if they go with Sub-Zero.
I'll just be happy that it's not Scorpion so that we could actually beat Anthony.
Yes.
Because remember, we could beat him for... there's a friend of ours who's like really good at fighting games, but we could actually beat him for a while with Injustice until Scorpion was there, and it was like, nope.
Scorpion's kind of cheap in that game, actually.
It's pretty cheap.
I'm okay with some of the other guest characters that Ed Boon has, kind of hinted at, like Spawn, Hellboy, even Buffy is more interesting.
I've not heard that at all.
They love their old school
he made it a poll or whatever about like which guest character do you want to see? Well, he had two of those. One Mortal Kombat, just Mortal Kombat characters, and one just everything.
Gotcha.
Well, they put... I don't know if you played X at all, like Mortal Kombat X and all, but they had DLC characters, Jason, like Friday the 13th Jason, and the Xenomorph from the Aliens, from Alien, and Predator. Yeah, they had all three of those as DLC characters.
Trying to... Oh, wait, you're forgetting... It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, dude. I'm thinking right. People are screaming at us the name.
Leatherface.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was also
there. It is.
Yeah. So, at some point, Netherrealm's going to be skipping one of these games and doing just a horror fighter.
Seriously, yeah.
I mean... they'll obviously use those characters again, but yeah. Alright, so... Win Chucky.
Yes. So much yes.
Okay, that's enough superhero talk for now. I mean for now. Okay, next.
Ken Levine's the superhero.
Yeah. But first, we have PS Plus versus Games with Gold.
You are totally right. I skipped one. Sneak peek.
Yeah,
almost a good segue.
Almost. But I ruined it. I could have just followed your lead. Sorry, I heard about this.
Fine, just throw me under the bus. It's good.
It's what I do. Here are the April 2017 PS Plus games. First one is Drawn to Death, which we have talked about before. It was announced, 2 weeks ago, I guess, when we...
Yep.
Yeah. Which, again, it looks interesting. I want to try it out.
You got a monkey that throws poop at people, isn't it?
Yes.
That's gosh, what's his name? The developer.
David Jaffe?
Okay, yeah.
Did I say his name right? I don't know.
I know Jaffe's right.
Yeah.
Wait, for some reason I was thinking Drawn to Death was the guy that did Grim Fandango. Is it not Grim Fandango? Tim Schafer? Is that not Tim Schafer?
No, that's not Tim Schafer.
No.
That much.
I'm ashamed.
I mean, it's kind of a Tim Schafer-ish game.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for doing that. You're just wrong.
You're just unequivocally wrong.
Yep.
He's busy with Psychonauts 2 or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird game like Tim Schafer games are. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Drawn to Death for PS4. Next game. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time on PS4.
AAA adventure.
Yep.
Is it a dating sim?
Yeah. The next game, Invisimals: The Lost Kingdom for PS3. It's gonna get weirder from here, everyone.
I just picture you have like a bunch of invisible little animals or something.
I mean, there's nothing on the screen. You think you're playing a game, but it's just a blank screen. Yeah. Next one, Alien Rage on PS3. Yeah. Next game, 10 Second Ninja X on Vita and PS4.
I've heard that name.
And the last one, Curses and Chaos for Vita and PS4.
All right.
That would just sound like a more... Yeah, we'll probably have a future discussion. We kind of were having a discussion before the podcast about how PS Plus has kind of gotten worse over the years.
Yeah.
Even though there's a lot of argument about that, but I think it's pretty fair to say it is. Like, it's still like you have free-ish games.
Free-ish.
But still, it used to be so much better.
Yeah, I'm on the IGN thing looking at these games to compare the two. None of these games are above $20 retail price. Admittedly, some of it can go down some, but looking at these names, I doubt they're that much cheaper than when they started. And Drawn to Death is the most expensive game at $20, and it's brand new. Now on to games with gold. Rise, Son of Rome.
That was a launch title for Xbox One.
With all the quick time events.
Yep. Now this game is good, but a little old. Walking Dead Season 2.
Okay, that's solid. That's definitely.
That was on PS Plus a few months ago.
But if you have not played it and have played Season 1, obviously do it. Darksiders. That's going to be on Xbox 360 and on Xbox One backwards compatibility. And last game, Assassin's Creed Revelations on Xbox 360 and Xbox One through backwards compatibility.
That's not bad either, honestly.
No.
I mean, I would take kind of old big games.
Yeah, I would too. It's just,
I
mean, that backwards compatibility is killing.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so like the whole thing. Just looking at this, game with gold all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, those PS Plus games might be good, but I never heard of them except for Drawn to
Should we
Death.
crown a winner every week?
We can.
If we do that, then games with gold.
Yeah, games with gold. I mean,
Congratulations.
You are the first winner. We might have had a winner last time. I can't remember.
I don't know if we said it, and you might be the last winner if I forget that we were going to do this.
But we'll probably talk about it later. But it seems like games with gold's more consistent with getting, even though there seem to be less games, they're putting more AAA games on there.
In between things like this and then the Games Pass, Xbox has been doing a lot of things right recently.
Yep. They're trying to get that goodwill back. As the Scorpio is about to come out.
and like it's a simple way to do it because they're just doing it with old games. But I mean, it's still, if it's like old relevant games, that'd be cool to play just because it's free. It's like, why not free or cheap? Because Game Pass.
Yep. Okay, anyone who's listening, just so there's not like a sudden transition, just so everyone knows, we had to stop and kind of delete stuff because we had someone intrude on our space.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah.
But then we made the most of it and played Puyo Puyo Tetris
on the Switch
for a while.
How do you like Puyo Puyo Tetris, Will?
100. Metacritic 100.
100.
I would be disappointed if it's not.
The only game to ever get a perfect score.
No, real talk, I'm interested to kind of see how that reviews, just in general.
That would be interesting.
Because it's a different kind of game.
It's so simple, but I don't understand how you can't like it. It's just
I don't know
addictive.
I don't know what they would knock off of it for, you know?
I don't either.
What would you criticize it for?
It depends. Lack of modes, depending. We don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? It's in Japanese for us.
Yeah, we're literally having to guess what the menu buttons means.
I've kind of figured it out. They don't give you many options, so yeah.
But God, it's gonna be so sad to not have the Japanese voices. I don't know. We might just have to keep playing the demo, Jeff.
Yeah.
Or
I might have to just suck it up and just buy the Japanese version.
There you go.
Okay, well, where were we, Jeff?
I think we were on an article thing talking about Ken Levine's new game.
I believe we are.
Yes. In this story, it comes from John Screbbles, I guess, I don't know, from IGN.
Scrabbles?
Yeah.
I think Scrabbles.
We're going with Screbbles. It's Nerds at Large approved. Screbbles.
Executive decision, alright.
Okay, it says in the article, Ken Levine has discussed some of the influences and comparisons with his as of yet untitled first game for his new studio Ghost Story. The creator of BioShock has previously said that his new project aims to be a replayable narrative game inside of Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system, which had NPCs remember and react to your actions in its open world as the sort of direction he'd like to take it in. In an onstage interview at EGX Res in London, Levine once again brought up the action RPG as an inspiration, but added that his new game would take the idea of a reactive narrative much further. The game has inspired me most. That we were maybe onto something on the right track was Shadow of Mordor with the Nemesis system. That was a very limited, rudimentary approach to it that covers a very narrow area. It's more of a meta-narrative, and there's not a lot of dialogue support for that stuff, so our thing is much more ambitious. That sort of gave us like, okay, maybe we're not completely crazy in what we're trying to do. Levine called the process of a game openly reacting to a player's actions radical recognition, and explained its importance to the new game. One of the most important things about what we're doing now is this concept of radical recognition, that if the player does something, the game should, as often as we can, recognize that accomplishment, or failure, or whatever it is, and find ways to have the world feedback that it cares. The heart of that is something that's central to our game. I need to learn how to let people know that I'm reading a quote better.
Episode 3.
Yep.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yep, okay.
We're getting there.
Yep, okay. No more quotes, people. At least from this one. Okay. While Levine still won't discuss the game in a particularly open way, or even reveal a title, he continued to drop small hints throughout the talk. Other facets of the game he discussed included that it would be more like Bioshock than a Bethesda game in the way that it was set in a smaller, highly detailed world. And that while there was nothing quite like the new game's sci-fi narrative, there are probably similarities to be drawn with System Shock 2. And finally, that Levine's been inspired by the industry's recent trend towards not trying to please all players, allowing for more challenging games, with communities built around unlocking their secrets. As someone who really only played Bioshock Infinite from Levine, all this sounds really cool to me, if they nail this.
And it's kind of one thing I've been surprised it's kind of taken this long to see someone cite the Nemesis system and Shadow of Mordor as like an inspiration for a new game, because after that came out, I was kind of thinking we would start to see like variations on it, or at least just see it as inspiration for things.
Yeah. So other than this, the only one we've seen is Shadow of War.
Yeah.
And because I know a lot of people when it first came out was like, man, this shows what new hardware can do.
Yeah.
This is the first evidence of PS4, Xbox One technology, but that has not been implemented since then, which is interesting.
And most people agreed, wow, it's really cool. It could obviously be improved. And yeah. Again, surprisingly, we haven't seen that until Shadow of War is obviously going to try to take it further because of the sequel, and now Ken Levine's saying, hey, we're going to take a crack at this and try to improve on it and do our own thing with it.
Yeah, and obviously everything's super vague right now because it's not really a game yet. He's just kind of talking about it, but like Bioshock vibes mixed with some sort of like interactive or responsive enemy thing like Nemesis system, plus like I think we talked about a few podcasts ago, like he was like comparing the difficulty to like Dark Souls or something. Yeah. All three of those combined together, it sounds like really cool direction for whatever this is.
And you said one of these things, he's liking the trend of more challenging games that don't hold players' hands and not for everyone. Yeah. And also I like the fact that he's saying it's not going to be like a Bethesda game where it's all very open world and more focused thing, which I'm happy about because we're getting less and less of those.
And that's one of the things I actually really like about Bioshock is that it's not open world. It's like, because I think you even wrote an article about that for us at Daily Gamecock about there's just, while I like open world games, it's just I feel like there's too many of them at this point. Games that should never be open world. And I would rather Kim Levine tell like an awesome Bioshock type story and just lead me through the story he wants to tell me instead of having this forced open world thing.
Yeah. It's at the point now where it not being open world, being a more focused story thing is now a positive for me. Like when looking at games, because there's so many of these, I don't have time for as many of these. So
that's why Uncharted spoke to me so well whenever it came out. I mean, it's a fantastic game anyway, but I was just excited to play a straightforward story game.
And isn't Prey kind of like that?
I think so. It's not open world at least.
Yeah, I just know it's like big open ship or something. Yeah. So I don't know too much about the game, but just from what I've seen interesting, and it's more like more of a linear thing that'll make me more interested in it if it's good. Of course.
Yeah. I think by far like the best stories are told through like a linear thing
Yeah.
because you have more control over like you're gonna the progression of the story. Whereas an open world, I feel like it's as much as I love open world games, it's hard to really tell a story that way when people can just experience it however they want to.
Yep.
And just again, just comes down to practicality. I don't have all that much time anymore, free time anymore. So games like they have more of a narrow focus.
Even if they say something like, this is going to be 20 hours max to get done, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I can put that time in if I know it's going to take that long to get done with
That's
it.
true. That's true.
And even what he said about this, it sounds like he's trying to make a game you can replay, like to do the kind of things and get different experience. Like, I'm okay with that too. Like, it could be, we don't know about this, be one of those things where everyone's playthrough's different and that can spark a bunch of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very interested in this game, and we will definitely talk about it more when stuff comes out about it.
Yeah, definitely excited to see Ken Levine's definitely one of the biggest names in gaming, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think. Has he really been able to do anything else since Bioshock Infinite? I haven't followed him heavily.
Not that I'm aware of, not since
he's just been working on this, I believe.
I think
Okay.
because he obviously went off on his own company.
Yeah. It's kind of, again, don't follow him deeply, so I don't know like when he went off into his own company, like how long he has actually been working on this game.
He was pretty much, it was like right after Infinite, he was
Okay.
gone for Irrational. Because that was kind of part of like, it was almost kind of bittersweet with Infinite coming out because like Infinite came out and then the studio kind of.
So hopefully E3 announcement.
That would be awesome. That'd be
Like I don't care which conference is out, just him walking out there and saying, "Hey, this is our new game. Show a cool trailer." I'm in.
cool. Yeah, that's good. Early.
As long as it's not announced as like an Xbox One exclusive, because that's the one I do not have.
Switch exclusive.
The internet would burn. It's a little different, but did you see the reaction to Bayonetta 2 being announced for the Wii U?
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully this is just on everything.
My April Fool's article is Half-Life 3 confirmed to be Switch exclusive.
I was about to say that, and then I didn't.
Dude,
but like,
imagine.
it's not coming out till
After.
Monday. Yeah.
Imagine that did happen.
Oh my god.
The internet would explode.
Game Noel just comes out there with a Switch, just holds it up, and just says 3.
Oh
And then it's in their presentation.
It's a date.
Okay, guess we're ready for the next story.
I believe so.
I guess it's the final regular story. Okay. This is from Alex Osborne from IGN. The first trailer for Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be revealed next month at Star Wars Celebration. Electronic Arts shared the news in a post on the game's official site, confirming that fans will get their first look at the sequel to DICE's Star Wars shooter on April 15th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be shown at the galaxy-wide premiere of Star Wars Battlefront 2 panel at Star Wars Celebration, during which DICE, Criterion, and Motive will offer a glimpse at the game and debut the first trailer. Those unable to attend the event will be able to watch the footage online at the official Star Wars Celebration website. EA announced the sequel to Star Wars Battlefront back in May 2016 and confirmed earlier this year the game will be released this holiday season. The publisher also confirmed that Star Wars Battlefront 2 will be playable at its E3 adjacent event EA Play this year.
I feel like I enjoyed Battlefront, the first Battlefront, like in spite of the fact that it kind of was not really a complete game. Like I really feel like it was just it was like a half a game, or it just wasn't completely a full package. But I was so much in Star Wars hype, especially with like Force Awakens and everything. I enjoyed it in spite of that, but because of that, I'm really excited for this one. I'm excited to see what they do, what they learn from that. Because it sold great anyway, and now they could just, if they add a story, and if they add...
They listen to people.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I want a campaign. I want like a legit, because I know like most people like play like obviously dice games like Battlefield and stuff in the multiplayer thing, and I obviously have that. But I do think there's a substantial portion of people that want like, I want a Star Wars awesome, like, because Battlefront looked amazing visually, and I want an awesome Star Wars campaign.
I'm curious. You say campaign, do you want like maybe a fake made up story, or do you want to go by the movies story? Or do you just not really care as long as it's good?
Kind of that one. I don't really care as long as it's good. I mean, if they can make an awesome story on their own, go for it, because I feel like sometimes when you try to adapt like a movies thing, it's not as good, but whatever would work.
Just so people know, I'm one of those rare nerds that doesn't care for Star Wars.
Wow.
He hasn't even seen all of them.
Okay.
I have not sat down and watched a movie in full. I probably have seen movies in all at different points in time, bits and pieces, but I never sat down and watched the whole one.
I don't even understand how he hasn't accidentally seen a Star Wars.
I mean, it's just I've sat down and seen ones, but I never saw the whole thing through.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
it's insane.
I get why people like it. It's one of those things I never got into. I guess at the right time, and I just never had much interest to go see it at this point.
Yeah.
And now I just want to keep the trend going, if I'm being honest.
I would want the Battlefront game to have different time periods, I think.
I was about to bring that up. It's wasn't a complaint about Battlefront until maybe some DLC came out that was only the original trilogy.
Yeah, they said they weren't going to touch any Force Awakens or Rogue One or anything.
I think they definitely need to capitalize on the Force Awakens. And
if they don't at least do Force Awakens and on Rogue One, I think they're stupid.
I could understand staying away from prequels just because that's a pretty wide disconnect between those.
I see them. There being no way they go to the prequels right now.
And there's just so much hate towards them. I think it's less for our generation, but for older people.
But just for so much of the new Star Wars is kind of ignoring the prequels because they're just skirt down their
rug. Happens,
so it's
but barely. We don't talk about that.
Again, as a non-Star Wars fan, I believe they definitely need to do Force Awakens and Rogue One, and I guess potentially, kind of depending, maybe DLC Episode 8 stuff, depending.
Yeah. And the only thing that made sense to me for why they were avoiding it so much last game is if they were saving it for Battlefront 2, the new trilogy stuff. So.
Well, they did do a little bit of Rogue One DLC, I believe.
At the end, you're right. I think they did.
But they didn't. I mean, they had that one map for Force Awakens, but it was Jakku or whatever.
Yeah, they had it was Battle of Jakku, but apparently it was
it
was set in the original trilogy, but it was at the Battle of Jakku, which it was at Jakku, which we don't see until Force Awakens. So it's weird. It was set in a place from the Force Awakens, but timeline took place beforehand. It's weird. It's not it really matters.
Video games.
and there was really no story. It was all just a multiplayer shooter. I mean, it was Battlefield with a Star Wars skin, basically. But that was enough to get me excited.
From what I hear, the main complaint was lack of content. So if they deliver with that, this game should be received well. It's just, it'll probably sell well regardless.
Yeah, they could put out a horrible game and it'll still sell well because it's Star Wars. But hopefully... I mean, DICE is a good developer. I think they'll learn from last time.
I want this game to do well. I want Star Wars fans to be happy.
Yeah.
And they have been happy. It's good for them. Okay, now we introduced this segment in episode 1. And it is called the That's Awesome News of the Week.
This one's a little more awesome than last one.
Yeah. What this is just every week, if we can find something, you just post a story that makes you say that's awesome. Whether it's just, there's something cool or something, I guess, nice that maybe a game developer does, or just, I don't know, just anything.
Something awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. And this comes from Evan Campbell from IGN. One Nintendo Switch owner decided the system's standard dock wasn't good enough, so they replaced the plastic with a Nintendo 64. That's right, YouTuber Tetzen Zone modded a Nintendo 64 to serve as the Switch's dock. The altered classic console even features USB ports in the front. Now, there's a notable missing feature. The modded N64 doesn't let you attach the Joy-Cons to the Switch while docked.
Still awesome.
It's so awesome. You want to see the picture?
I would love to see the picture.
They do have a picture in this article, right, Joe?
Yeah, I remember if they did.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. That's awesome.
Exactly. That's pretty cool.
It's I kind of want this. Why can't I be that talented?
Yeah, we'll post a link in the description on YouTube to the article, but
or we'll use that as the picture for this part.
Yeah.
True.
That is really cool that someone had that idea.
Yeah.
So So I mean, like, it's an actual 64. That
they messed around with it and made it the dock, set it up so it does charging.
So is it basically just like the shell of a 64 and like the inside of it?
I guess. I didn't do the most research, and if I'm being honest, I'll show you, Will, after we're done with this. The dock.
Please.
It's not really much of anything.
Yeah, I heard it's just like a plastic shell that you put it in.
It's basically all this is like it's an HDMI cord, but in a block. So that's all it really does.
Like
is connect
$70, right, to buy a new one? Just something
80 or 90.
Oh my gosh,
all the Switch stuff on its own is insanely expensive.
Now the only thing I warmed up to the price, like I'm okay with it. I can see more is the 2 Joy-Con sets. Like I'm more okay with that price. It's $80. And it's a little much, but it's two controllers.
True.
You can use, so I'm more okay with that price now.
It's still ridiculous considering the PS4 is 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess technically that's one controller, whereas that's two. No.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. It's hard.
Definitely weird.
The whole thing with the Switch is it's hard to compare it to stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the Pro controller is too expensive.
Yeah,
so, and the dock.
100?
Oh no, that was like 70.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not that much more, but still more.
But still, it's like when I get a Switch, I want to buy like additional controllers for the Switch because it seems like it's definitely like a local multiplayer machine. Like me and you were just doing with Puyo Puyo Tetris. Whereas the PlayStation, like if I play PlayStation with people, most time it's like online with other people. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel as compelled to buy controllers with them. Yeah, but I do with Nintendo, but it'll end up costing basically like the price of another Switch if I buy enough controllers.
Well, luckily, at least me and our friend Olivia is talking about getting a Switch as well, so we'll have a bunch of controllers.
Is she talking seriously about it?
I think she's kind of, and it's not like she's definitely planning on getting one, she's just not, I'm confused on when. She said different things.
We all pressure each other into making bad financial decisions. That's kind of what we do.
No one had to pressure me. I was all in.
I think I'd like to get one. Maybe Christmas time. I don't know.
When Mario comes out.
Mario would be out too. Give me a little more incentive.
And Skyrim.
True. Wait, is it gonna be out then?
Yes. Olivia, are you getting a Switch?
Yes.
When?
Probably when Splatoon or Mario Kart comes out.
Oh wow, that's very soon.
Well, I'm gonna try. They're like crazy in demand still.
Yeah.
So literally the other day, Best Buy decided it'd be a really great idea to put the NES Classic and the Switch on sale at the same time. That was the worst.
Congrats, Olivia. You're gonna be on our podcast.
Confirmed. Olivia getting a Switch.
Yeah, Olivia. The scoops. We have the scoops.
The hot scoops.
Someone tag IGN in this post.
That'll be on the front page.
I don't want that to happen, no.
Well, yeah, it probably for me won't be till holiday.
I mean, yeah, I completely understand why people want to wait.
I mean, I say that now. Hopefully, my willpower.
I'm wondering if there will be a. I mean, probably not because it'd still be new. But I wonder if there would be some sort of Black Friday sale or something, just like 200 maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if we'll go that low.
What is it right now? 250?
It's 300.
Oh, 300. Oh, okay. So maybe like 250.
I think part of the reason they did that price was because I think they said they wanted to have the option to cut the price at some point.
Yeah.
If they needed to.
Good. If you set it at 250 already, you can't really get much lower.
Not much wiggle room.
People complain about the price was the least of the problems of that conference and the announcements and stuff.
There was a lot of problems.
I mean, I don't think the price is that bad considering.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the price of a regular console.
Yeah. I think some of the people reacted harshly to the price when it was announced because when the rumors leading up to it said, about all of them said 250.
Yeah, I do.
So everyone had that set in mind, and then when it was higher, everyone was freaking out.
True.
Like the Tin Dude. So, yeah.
All right, well, we will move on to the main topic this week. And because I have two obviously video game. I have two, both of you guys are big comic book guys, and I'm not really. But this is a good time to talk about comic books in video games. And obviously, it kind of started, like, Marvel's been making games for a long time, but it seems like now is the first time they're, like, actually, like, doing it with, like, really good publishers trying to make good games, not just
Cash grabs.
Yeah, cash grab. Like, I remember playing like Iron Man for the PS2 or something.
Oh,
bad.
I had it on the Wii.
Yeah, I played that on Wii as well.
It was so bad, like motion controlled and everything.
Oh my god.
I think it's because my dad liked Iron Man.
Yeah,
So bad.
but now we have like Square Enix. It looks like Square Enix is making a Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers. Who's making Avengers?
Square Enix.
They're making both.
I think it's the Tomb Raider guys making.
I think
Crystal Dynamics is making Avengers.
yeah,
yeah,
Crystal
and-
Dynamics, Eidos Montreal is doing
Yeah.
Guardians.
Yeah.
I think.
Deus
So-
Ex guys making Guardians of the Galaxy. Rumors, anyway.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy has not been announced. Telltale one has, not the Square Enix ones. It's confusing.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, who would have guessed that there would be 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies and possibly 2 games in like 2 years?
Whereas just like 2 years ago, no one knew them.
Yeah.
No one knew the Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's crazy.
Now everyone knows the name Star-Lord.
Yep.
And
And Groot's one of the most beloved superheroes.
Well, I was one of the biggest skeptics leading up to the movie. I was like, okay, Marvel's finally hit the bottom of the barrel. We're like just digging around for something now. This is gonna be crap. Like, why is there a talking raccoon? What do we
I
do?
knew them. I was a little confused. Like, oh, this could be fun. I mean,
Well, I think the only one I really knew was Rocket at that point.
I mainly knew
of
Rocket from Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
I think he was the only one of those characters in that game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Now they're probably all going to be in Infinite.
Definitely.
So on top of those games, like you just said, we have
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Infinite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that.
That's one I keep on forgetting. Or like when thinking about Marvel games.
Which is, I mean, yeah, it's crazy that we're getting a Marvel and a DC fighting game in the
Yeah.
upcoming future.
Like, should be this year for. I mean, Injustice is coming out in a month about. But Marvel vs. Capcom supposed to be coming out this year. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think that this kind of new slew of like superhero games coming from big name developers that we're all familiar with, do you think that they're gonna see success kind of in the way that the movie series have and the like MCU and everything? I mean, do you think there's a chance for that in the video game industry?
I think they'll definitely be successful. Maybe not like comparatively at the same success because Marvel movies are like some of the highest grossing movies at this point. I don't expect the games to be that way, but I expect them to, as long as the developers do really well. Like, I think one we forgot to mention, I might have missed it, the Spider-Man Insomniac one.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah. Like, I expect these, unless they really screwed up, to be good games. If not great games. I'm hoping that way. But yeah, maybe not to be at the same level as Marvel is for the movies.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe Spider-Man, if it's great.
I can self-promote and say I actually did a column about this not too long ago.
I like your comment.
But, I mean, in that column, I just cited some statistics about how many games Marvel was making. And they released 43 games in the past 7 years. Past 7 years, which is just ridiculous. And shows that
I play none of them.
they
And
weren't...
now all these games are announced that I'm actually interested in.
Yeah.
And they're probably all just crap.
I mean, it shows
Except
that
maybe the Lego games.
they were not worried about quality at all. And, like,
Right.
even to add to that, 26 of those were for home consoles, but 17 were for mobile, which is like, okay.
Like, I was thinking that was like, that's high, and I understand I missed
Yeah.
some, but that sounds like a lot, but yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
So,
Even 23 for consoles.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
even like sounds
Yeah.
high.
I mean, well, also, I don't know if you counted those in there, but all the Lego games, I assume you counted.
I don't even know. I can't remember when I wrote, if I did that when I wrote it,
But
but
it's probably even more than, and that's why I say like obviously there have been video game superhero video games for a very long time. That I feel like this is the first time they're doing it right.
Mhm.
It seems
Yeah.
like they're like really doing what we want them to do and getting these big name.
No, are you talking about Marvel or in general?
I mean,
Let's still
specifically
talk
Marvel
yeah.
with these, but that also leads to, I'm also a little concerned that it kind of seems like DC, I think of DC being the first ones to start this with the Arkham games.
yeah.
Because that was one of the first big superhero games that I remember that was like, this is obviously like big budget, awesome quality, because Rocksteady, they're amazing. But now it kind of seems like Marvel's just they just like came right out the gate with all these different games.
I mean,
Is DC going to get left behind in this like they did with the movies?
So in contrast, DC has released 16 games in the past 7 years, and that includes mobile and stuff too. So I think that shows that they have a little more quality control, and that's evident with their Arkham games and Injustice, which have all performed really well critically and commercially.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to be necessarily left behind, but I think they are more focused on the what they already have. I don't know if they're going to branch out like Marvel has been trying to do.
Yeah.
And also, like, NetherRealm is under WB.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, DC is owned by Warner Brothers as well. So they're kind of just using their own branches to do those games, whereas Marvel is just going out everywhere, which is good for us. Don't know if it's going to be good for them necessarily. You would think so.
I think it's one of those cases. It's good in the short term, but maybe not in the long term because, they don't want to make those games anymore. Like Insomniac doesn't want to make another Spider-Man game if it does well or something.
Yeah, like the DC games, they have more control over them basically. It's like we know this is what we're doing. We're gonna go for it. Marvel, you're having to deal with talking to Insomniac and Square Enix and all these, and they have so many other interests in mind as well. Like, is Insomniac gonna be tied down for like 3 Spider-Man games? Like, I don't even know if I want that.
It'd be really interesting to see their contract and see what they're.
I can't remember if they even said anything on the contract. I mean, there might have been something around E3 that came out that I'm forgetting about, but.
And that's where I get to the point when we do start going to these big companies like this. Like Spider-Man's like my favorite superhero, so I'm very excited for an Insomniac Spider-Man game. Okay, Insomniac's one of my favorite developers. But does this also mean that I'm not going to get any real new Insomniac games for a long time?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I wouldn't say so because I guess they have different teams because. Well, actually, maybe. I don't know. They pump out Ratchet and Clank games like crazy, and Sunset Overdrive, and then the new Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
So, you'll get less, but.
See, it was a little different for like Rocksteady because they really had nothing before Arkham, whereas Insomniac is a studio that's been around for a while and put out really good stuff. So there's not as many people, or they weren't, at least back then, that wanted a Rocksteady IP. But there's going to be a ton of people that are like, man, I'm not super interested in the Spider-Man game. When can I get Ratchet and Clank or Sunset Overdrive 2 or whatever?
That's where I'll be interested in these games, but it's kind of to the point like I'm at with movies right now. I'm starting to get the comic book movies fatigue, and I feel like I sometimes I wish that we were devoting more energy to non-comic book stuff, and I just hope we don't get to that point in video games where it's so oversaturated. Like, Crystal Dynamics, instead of making the next Tomb Raider, they're making Avengers, which is very cool, but...
Well, probably both. They have Shadow.
I think Shadow of Tomb Raider is going to be made by someone. No, it's not being made by Crystal Dynamics.
I think that's the rumor.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which, it's still going to go on, so it's fine. But we're just very early in this. Yeah. And I just worry that, if this exploded too much, that would just be the next big, every big blockbuster game, AAA game or whatever, is a superhero game, or that's all the popular ones.
It's better than the movie craze that happened during like the PS2 era, at least, where they were just pumping out random movies or games based on movies.
Yeah, every big game had a horrible thrown together game.
Every big movie had it.
That's alright. Yeah.
I'm not as worried about the whole being oversaturated with superhero games because I feel like there are, more games that would be at those games like budget and level than comparatively like movies. There are less movies that are at that budget and level and stuff, so I don't think it'll be big of a deal with unless they really go crazy with it, like far beyond what they're doing now. They kind of do it like they're doing now. I think it'll be okay. You just don't play those.
Yeah. So we have Spider-Man, Avengers, Batman just got the Telltale thing, whatever. We have Guardians of the Galaxy. What superheroes do you want to see get this type of treatment?
I've been a big component of seeing, even though it might be a little too similar, I would like to see a Rocksteady Green Arrow game. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was saying the same thing.
Gosh, I think
that's just the natural thing. It's like, they need something else, but if they want to kind of do something that's kind of different and kind of similar to what they're used to, Green Arrow.
And now Green Arrow is becoming a lot more of a household name because of Arrow.
Yes.
I think they could do great with that. I know there was a rumor for a while that they were doing Suicide Squad, but I think that got scrapped, if I'm not mistaken.
There's also a rumor of the Damian Wayne game.
Yeah. just today I saw that they might announce something at E3, but I don't know if that's. I don't know. But yeah, a Green Arrow game would be awesome. I'm trying to think on the Marvel side.
I don't know, like
I
what
would like
exactly
a-
I want, but I think a Justice League Dark game could be cool.
Like
I don't know exactly what they could do. Like I could see like a Telltale Justice League Dark game being cool.
Yeah. I think a well done Iron Man game would be awesome.
Yeah, one that's actually like.
This is the thing though, and I know it can be done. The problem is when you think like superhero games, you automatically go to just third person action games.
Yeah.
Just partly because it's hard to do flying right and like super speed right and stuff like that. So it'd be hard to do like a Superman or Flash game.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do the street level. Like I think a Daredevil game would be cool, even though that'd be really similar to.
I mean,
the problem is the obvious ones to go to are like those
Arkham
street
clones.
levels.
yeah.
Like.
Well, one, like it's probably not all that likely just because they're not the big thing right now. I mean, kind of with Logan, but I would like a really good X-Men game.
Yeah.
Like one like in really good hands, even if it's like you control a bunch of different ones, or even if it's just you control Wolverine and everyone else is just like
X-Men Origins Wolverine was a pretty good game. I don't know.
I don't think I played. Yeah.
But also, I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but the old X-Men Legends game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
I think I
haven't played too many X-Men games, but
I haven't played too many about that.
Those were fantastic games. I would love a Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 or whatever. But
I just had a quick thought about going back to the Green Arrow thing. It'd be cool because she would be involved anyway if they had like Black Canary sections.
Oh yeah,
with different gameplay style.
For sure. I mean, and Rocksteady has that with Catwoman and stuff.
Yeah.
The others, so
That'd be cool. I'd be all for that.
I'm wondering if Rocksteady is working on something like that, like going off of Arkham. If they're gonna stay in the DC.
I'm gonna be a little disappointed if it is another Batman game. As good as those are, like
I feel like even they're kind of the point they're done, and that's why I'm like hesitant to say they'll probably do something like Suicide Squad, Damian Wayne, Green Arrow, and stuff because they're like these are similar games. We're kind of tired of these.
I think they'll either do something like that, or they'll just go out of DC entirely and make something else. I guess it depends on how
DC
burnt
allows
out they are, or how if they allow them. I have no clue what their contracts are like.
If the one thing that if they were gonna do another Batman game, Batman Beyond by Rocksteady,
that'd be cool.
That'd be interesting, but.
It's like saying it's hard to think about superhero games like style because, like I said, you go straight to third person action. Like it's hard to imagine a good competent game with any other style.
Yeah,
first person Iron Man.
Yeah, right. Go to whatever.
No, that's gonna be like a PSVR exclusive.
I mean, it could be like what was the Metroid game?
Yeah, Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man Metroid Prime game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I said that actually.
I mean, I'd be down. I mean, whatever.
I guess that's the thing, like maybe how they do flying and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's like a big thing. That's why it's holding. Like we don't get some of those games. At least not those games that are quality.
I'm just holding out for the Avengers dating sim. You get the Hulk.
Black Widow.
Yeah, the Hulk and Black Widow doing some nice dates.
I got it, guys. Squirrel Girl.
Telltale Squirrel Girl.
Oh my God, yes.
No, if y'all haven't seen, there's like documentaries by this YouTube guy named Unseen64, and he has one on like a Daredevil game that was in development for a while, and there was another superhero game that he had one on. I can't remember it now, but they're really, really good. Highly recommended.
I can't remember, but I think I at least saw at some point that one you said, the one you can't remember. Like I know I saw something.
Yeah.
Another one.
That's gonna kill me.
I can't remember what it is. Yeah.
I feel like Telltale Jessica Jones could be cool.
That's the thing. Yeah, so one of those things. For these games, you either think third-person action or Telltale style. Those are like the ones you go to. Like when I said Justice League Dark, it's like a regular game could be cool, but it'd be hard to do with all those different things. By the way, Justice League Dark's like Swamp Thing and Zatanna and John Constantine, like the magic stuff.
Oh yeah.
An
They have a
RPG
cool
Witcher style Justice League Dark.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I'll take Witcher style
That's
anything.
so ambitious.
It can't fail.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other way to go. Is obviously you have Arkham or whatever, but the other way is to go, like you said, like we're going to try to make the most vibrant and large open world possible, but it's just like all DC themed. So it's just like you're going from like Metropolis to you're just going to all of like these different DC settings and doing all this and have like a gigantic Witcher type experience. I mean,
I'm so confused as to how they're actually gonna do the Avengers. I just don't even. I can't even think
Yeah.
about how they're
Like I think we talked about at some point, like, because it was Square Enix, like them potentially doing like an episodic thing, like Hitman, and each
Maybe.
episode's a different Adventure.
Huh? Maybe.
A different gameplay
That'd be an
style.
interesting way to break it up.
Yeah.
Because I just worried them trying to balance too many characters, like too many characters
And
trying to
different play
as or
styles,
whatever.
like, and I guess it helps that the Avengers though use Thor, Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man. For the most part, like Captain America, Hulk, and even Thor are kind of basic. Even Iron Man's a little basic, at least as people know them in the Avengers.
I mean, it just all depends on what kind of game.
Yeah.
it is
Y'all have
and
seen
what
the
it is.
like that first person canceled Avengers game from a while ago? Or
I
no?
don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all need to look that up then later. Yeah, like right before the first Avengers movie was coming out, they were working on a first-person Avengers game where you could like switch between all four people. So I don't know if they're coming off of that, then maybe that's what they're doing.
Oh, also the same thing with the Avengers. What are they gonna do for if it's true that regular Guardians of the Galaxy game?
Okay, that seems like it's just a similar type thing to the Avengers.
Yeah,
just,
but Guardians of the Galaxy are a little more grounded, so it could be easier to do potentially.
I just keep thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy and like Mass Effect just combined. That's what I think every time. Think of
So,
like Star Lord.
can
I
I-
could just you're going from like in space and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
No, but can
third-person shooter type stuff.
I do it with Groot?
That was Jeff's first question. That's where Jeff immediately goes.
Is Groot bisexual? That's what I need to know.
These are the questions, Marvel.
Answer, please.
These are the questions everyone's wondering. Maybe we'll know in the movie.
Yeah. No.
Right.
It's a baby.
Oh yeah, it's baby Groot. I didn't even think
Pervert.
about- I didn't even
wrong
think.
with
I didn't
you?
even think about baby Groot. All right, well that's where we went.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, any other closing thoughts on the superheroes in Vigimo games?
I like the choices, like people are doing now. I like the choices Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
I like Injustice and the Arkham games. I'm definitely interested to see what.
I think this
People
is
do in
one
the
of the,
future.
this is another big sign of like video games being taken a little more seriously. Is the fact is a company as big as Marvel is saying like, yeah, let's put in the time and money and like go out and search the best talent and
And I think part of it is they saw how DC has done with Arkham and the Injustice series, which is probably why, despite the whole rumors of Marvel vs. Capcom as a series ending, after they saw what Injustice did, and now that Marvel's at the top of the world,
Yep.
giving it another shot, because now they can fill with a bunch of movie characters, and people will have a better chance of buying it. I mean, people more likely buy it.
I wonder if this was part of why they canceled Disney Infinity to make more room, like budget room for
That's interesting.
other games.
Yeah.
It's possible. I mean, Disney has so much money; it's probably they can kind of do whatever they want. But
Yeah. You forget sometimes is that they own all the Disney
the
stuff,
world,
Marvel and Star Wars,
yeah,
ESPN.
ESPN.
I mean, everything. They're great.
Yeah.
I'm
Eventually,
pretty sure they own this house.
Eventually,
Oh my
everything
gosh.
in the world is going to be owned by like Disney, Google, and Apple.
Yep.
And it's like those are the three. Everything falls under one of those three. It'll be the Great War.
I pledge my allegiance to Mickey Mouse.
All right.
So,
Well, this has been episode 3 of Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you
Yep.
so much for coming, Will.
Yep,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Where can people find you?
On Twitter, I'm JW_Outlaw. And on Instagram, I guess. This is weird.
Yeah, plug it all. Go
I'm,
for it.
I'm an outlaw. Pretty easy. And if you want to read me and Darby's articles at the Daily Gamecock, that would be greatly appreciated. Share if you wish.
Darby appreciates that because he doesn't feel like plugging in himself.
Yeah, there
I
you
don't
go.
think he's done that yet.
Shameless
Let's do it
plugging
about
for me.
work. I'll let Will do all my shameless plugging. So. All right. Well, I think that's all we got.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Yep. Thank you.